Hello and welcome everybody to the Anthony Carlo Show. I hope you're enjoying your afternoon thus far. The weather has definitely made it unlikely for that to be the case. I cannot really believe that this winter has been so brutal, and I realize I opened my show up a lot discussing the weather, which is really indicative of the horrible weather we've had this year. Otherwise, I really wouldn't be talking about it. But the fact that we're into April and we had such a terrible winter on the amount of snow we received, the cold, frigid temperatures, which we were hoping were gone a couple of weeks ago when the weather started warming up, are suddenly back. And I don't really know why or how, but yes, those frigid temperatures have returned, and supposedly spring is just around the corner, and we're supposed to, or spring. We're in spring actually. I get my seasons wrong here, but it's almost as disappointing as the New York Knicks this year, and that's something that Ian Sachs wrote down in my update that I just read a couple of minutes ago, and that is something that I won't even get on. I mean, I wish I could have just plugged in the little laughter sound here after I said that one. Get my own, and we have one actually, but the board operations here are a little too complex for me, and sometimes I screw those up. So I'm lucky I'm on the air right now. To be honest, I'm lucky I have the mic on. I'm lucky you can hear me. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure if I'm actually broadcasting right now, but I hope I am. And I really hope I am, because we have some stuff to talk about. Today, the Yankees, obviously, a win last night, something that they did in gritty, gutsy fashion. Now, when you talk about rallies, when you talk about coming back in ball games, everybody lives for the walk-off home run. Everybody lives for that late inning double in the gap that plated 2 runs that gave you the lead, and everybody's going wild. Well, you know what? That really wasn't the case or the setting last night at the big ballpark in the Bronx. The Yankees did rally in a game where they were down 3-1. They came back against the Jays bullpen in that game. But it was definitely done in a fashion other than you would normally really get excited for. They did it by stringing together runs. And you know what, to be honest with you, I was happy to see this team able to do that. Because if there's one thing they did not do last year, it was hit home runs. It was get big hits in big situations, really let that offense fly like they have in the past. And just to be able to watch a game last night and realize that the team was down 3-1, and they were able to scratch a couple of runs across the board in order to win the ball game 4-3. It means a lot. It means a lot. It shows that the team can manufacture runs, and that's going to be a big thing this year. Is being able to do that, because if you haven't noticed, the Yankees' offense has not been premier as it was a couple of years ago when they were always relied on as having their offense as their strong point. As I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago, they were at the bottom of the league in home runs last year, which is hard to believe. And to be able to watch the game last night and see that, down 2 runs entering the 8th, the first run of the inning came on a wild pitch. Okay, listen. Nobody's going to give you a parade for watching a pitch in the dirt go by, a pitch that, by the way, Russell Martin, in my opinion, usually blocks. The ball was in the dirt. A defensive catcher like Russell Martin, who has such good defensive prowess, usually blocks those pitches, but he was not able to. Ball gets away from Russell Martin, run comes in. Yankees down 1. Second run that comes in is in on a hit by pitch. They walk Mark Teixeira to bring up Brian McCann. Brian McCann digs in, gets hit with, I believe it was the first pitch, right in the elbow. That brings another run. So now, if you haven't realized, the first 2 runs in this inning that the Yankees plated were not done with the ball hitting the bat. They were done with the ball hitting the dirt and the ball hitting Brian McCann's elbow. Now, many people probably wouldn't praise the fact that the Yankees were able to manufacture runs that way, but after watching Game 1 of this series and seeing so many of the Yankees hitters swinging at first pitches, believe me, I don't have a problem with doing that, swinging at the first pitch. I really don't, go right ahead and be my guest, but make sure you hit the ball. If you're going to swing at the first pitch and you're so confident that hitter after hitter is going to swing at the first pitch, I better be seeing some balls go into the gaps. I better see some line drive base hits. I better see some hard contact. But to go into game one and go up against a pitcher like Drew Hutchison, who, please, is not Clayton Kershaw here, okay? He's not, Max Scherzer. I mean, Drew Hutchison is talented, but he's not at the top of the game, and the Yankees always seem to fall to a pitcher who's having a solid game, which is another reason I emphasize I was happy to see the manufacturer runs last night. But don't tell me that you're going to swing after first pitch when you're not making anything out of it. Be patient at the plate. One big thing the Yankees have always been known for, especially with a team who loves to buy players and bring over veterans who have already made a career in the MLB, making millions of dollars. A lot of these guys, they know what they're doing at the plate. They're not young. They're not jumping at the first pitch. They're being patient. They're watching pitches go by. But don't sit there and swing at the first pitch. And if especially don't do that if you can't make good contact. If you're popping the ball up, see the pitch, see the pitcher throw a pitch or two, see the ball out of his hand. I actually, in my baseball playing career, I have to be honest with you, I liked swinging at the first pitch sometimes. If I knew a pitcher was going to groove me a fastball on the first pitch, bam, I'm blasting that sucker. I'm not waiting for a second pitch. I'm not waiting for myself to be down in the count 0-1. I'm jumping on that baby. But when you're playing professional baseball, and you're up at the major league level, and you're playing for a team as prestigious as the New York Yankees are, and apparently you're supposed to be knowing what you're doing, after a succession of, a strung together bunch of at-bats where the first pitch has been swung at and failed in terms of getting that ball in play and getting on base, you need to realize that. You need to recognize that Drew Hutchison is getting a lot of first pitch outs, and you have to make use of that and be able to be more patient at the plate and be able to see more pitches, see more of what he has, make him throw a pitch. Maybe you get lucky, he throws a ball one, you're already up in the count, and it's all of a sudden your at-bat. So I liked what the Yankees did last night. I liked the fact that even though that pitch was terribly in the dirt, and Russell Martin obviously could not block it, and they got the first run of that inning on that pitch, it wasn't as if it was a good job to taking that pitch, because the pitch was just so wild. I mean, it wouldn't have made it any sense to even debate whether it should have been swung at or not. It's still good to see that a pitch was taken and a run came in on a wild pitch. Sometimes when your offense is it's early in the season, you need time for games to settle in. You need time for your offense to get in a groove. It's a good thing to be able to score a run on a wild pitch. I mean, you're being handed a run. You're not being asked to do much work. Now, Brian McCann takes a ball on the elbow in the next at-bat. After they walk Mark Teixeira to get to him, they intentionally walk Mark Teixeira. And Brian McCann is able to tie the game up by taking that ball on the elbow. Now, the big blow in this inning, quote-unquote big blow, came from Chase Headley. And the reason why I say quote-unquote is because it wasn't necessarily a big blow. Chase Headley didn't drive the ball off the wall. Chase Headley didn't blast a bases-clearing double. Chase Headley made hard contact with the baseball off of Cecil and hit the ball right back to Cecil. It was a comebacker. But he hit the ball hard enough that Cecil was not able to field the ball. Now, watching the play over again, it wasn't an easy play for a pitcher to make. Not too many comebackers are. But after PFPs in spring training, I'm sure the Blue Jays were a little upset that Cecil cannot glove that one, or at least be in the right mind frame to let that ball go and let his middle of the infield take care of it, because it looked to be Jose Reyes would have been able to field that ball, step on second or whatnot. And the fact that Cecil had a glove on, it basically kicked the ball, towards shortstop and away from the direction Jose Reyes was going to field the ball. But here's the moral of the story, folks. Chase Headley hit the ball hard. Okay, when you hit the ball hard, when you make contact with the ball, when you put the ball in play, things happen. And you may recall your Little League coaches telling you, hit the ball, put it in play, make them field the ball. Make them field the ball. You may not think that makes any correlation when you get to the level of professional baseball at the major league level. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It does. It actually does correlate. Baseball is a game. It's a game across the board, whether you're 10 years old and you're playing Little League Baseball, whether you're 13 years old and you're playing high school baseball, whether you're 17, 18 years old and you're playing college baseball, or whether you're in your 20s or 30s and you as a man make your living playing professional baseball. Baseball is the common denominator. And at any level, putting the ball in play and making the defense field the ball is actually something that you should look to do. You shouldn't be looking to always drill the ball into the gap. You shouldn't always be looking to drive the ball. In a situation like that, you should be shortening up, and you should be putting the ball in play and looking to hit a hard line drive somewhere, looking to make hard contact, and Chase Headley did that. And that's why he's a productive player. That's why his approach at the plate is definitely looked on highly by me. And I look at Chase Headley as a guy that I want up in a big situation. The guy came over here to New York, proved to us that he can get the big hit, proved to us that in big situations he doesn't shy down, and he may not be the most glamorous guy when it comes to it. Hence, last night he didn't hit a go-ahead game-winning home run, but what he did do is he put the ball in play, and he put the ball hard off of Cecil's glove. He made hard contact with it. He made Cecil try and field the ball, and look what we have. We have the ball kicked out into the outfield. We have the Yankees taking a 4-3 lead. We have the Yankees winning the game. So the moral of the story here, folks, is for the New York Yankees coming into this season, obviously there are a lot of people who don't have high expectations for this team. There are a lot of people that don't really think that the Yankees have much going for them in terms of going up against teams like the Boston Red Sox, teams like the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, I can't say much about the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't know what they're going to do this year. The Blue Jays are not a terrible team. I mean, it's a very difficult American League East. And to be able to learn how to win games the way that the Yankees did last night, which in the past you wouldn't figure the Yankees would win games like that, the fact that they're able to show they can reinvent themselves and win a game in the fashion they won last night is very, very encouraging. Because after watching Game 1 of this series between the Yankees and the Blue Jays and realizing that Masahiro Tanaka was not sharp at all, realizing that Didi Gregorius made a big mental lapse, a big mental error, and tried to steal third base with 2 outs in the 8th inning with the Yankees being down 6-1, realizing Chase Headley couldn't field cleanly a ground ball, and I should say he fielded it cleanly but couldn't make a complete throw to first base in the middle of that big Jays inning, another error. It was very, very discouraging to watch Game 1 of the 2015 season for the Yankees be like that. And I talked about it on AB Conversation with Ben and Rob Jiggity and Rob Boncardo a couple of days ago. We discussed how even though it's Game 1, nobody wants to jump the gun on the first game that a team will play out of 162 in a season. But you know what? After all the adversity the Yankees have been facing in the offseason, just to look at what their chances are at winning the division or even making the postseason, it wasn't a good sign to see them come out of the gates and basically so far prove every one of those people right. It would have been nice to see them prove them wrong in Game 1 of their 2015 campaign and especially not make mental errors like a minor league team would. But they did. They lost Game 1. It's in the books. We're not going to harp on it anymore because they did something that made me happy last night. They were down in that game. They looked like they were about to lose Game 2 and be in a spot to be swept against the Toronto Blue Jays to open up the 2015 season, but they didn't let it get that far. You know why? Because they learned to reinvent and they learned to manufacture some runs to come back in this game. Well done. Well done. So, that is my opening monologue on this Anthony Carlo show today, Thursday, April 9th, I believe it is. I have Ian Sachs and Chelsea over here in the control room, and they are very, very much going to be involved in the Radiothon, which will be coming up, I believe it's next Saturday. I don't know what that date is off the top of my head. It is the 21st? No, it is the what is that? 18th. April 18th. So April 18th, you'll be wanting to tune into the WICR Radiothon right here in the basement of La Penta. Will be broadcasting all night, I believe until 5 a.m., unless they've changed it up on us. But yeah, it'll be until 5 a.m., so you'll definitely want to hang around for that one. But I'll be back here on the Anthony Carlo Show. I'll be talking a little more baseball, because why not? Major League season is in full swing now. Everybody's out there. Everybody's enjoying games. People are winning. So, you know what? We'll talk a little bit about that. And we'll have a good time here.